Hello viewers, it's glad to know you're watching your program. I am Kingsley Paul. Now, in continuation with the ongoing reports we are doing on infrastructure development in Nigeria, today we are taking a topical look at the various issues affecting the development of infrastructure. Joining us is a man who is contributing in no small way to the development of our infrastructure. He is the Managing Director, CEO of Matrix Engineering and Consultancy Services Limited. I'm talking of Abdul Malik Momojimo. Is going to be giving us their contribution, the challenges, issues affecting infrastructure, and also we're looking at the power sector also when it comes to providing power to infrastructure and also building services in Nigeria. It promised to be an interesting conversation, an inciting one that will give a broad view on issues affecting the industry. Sit back, relax, I'll be back after this time out.
Matrix Engineering and Consultancy Services Limited has distinguished itself to become one of the leading indigenous construction, engineering and consultancy companies in Nigeria, providing qualitative, timely and cost-effective services in design and building construction. Abdul Malik Momojimo is the Managing Director, CEO.
My name is Abdul Malik Momojimo, CEO of Matrix Engineering and Consultancy Services Limited, and I'm a Nigerian I really believe in Nigeria, a young entrepreneur and a philanthropist. Matrix Engineering actually started as a Matrix technology in 2009. When I just returned from UK for my master's, and I started a career in Nigeria in 2006 as a lecturer, and in 2008 I decided to change a career from lecturing into engineering, and I went for studies in the UK. So when I came back in 2009, I discovered that there are a lot of potential in me that I feel that I will not be able to explore if I am working. So that is what drive me into going into private practice and try to start a business, and it was named Matrix Technology then. So in 2012, it was fully incorporated as Matrix Engineering and Consultancy Services. I study mobile and satellite communication engineering at the University of Westminster in the UK, and because I believe that I can make a contribution in the telecom industry, which was just a new industry in Nigeria as of that time. So when I returned, I discovered that there are some of the auxiliary services that are lacking, that the local companies have not really go into, like the power sector, supporting the telecom industry in the area of power. So it was majorly done by the foreign firms then that came into the business. So I decided to start with that. So that's what actually inspired me. And secondly, to create jobs for our youths.
The company is highly equipped with young, dynamic management and technical team with years of corporate and field experience to undertake and execute any given task in its field of endeavors.
Wow. If you ask me to just single a project out on it. In metrics, every project is important, as no matter how small it is. But one of the projects that we have actually done that really, anytime I think of it, I'm always happy is within an earthing system. There was a time the Nigerian Space Center, the NETCOMSAT, has a problem with their earthing system. So, and we're as young as we were recommended that for that project. So, and we did wonderfully well. We were able to resolve the issue. So it's always my pride that the Nigeria Communication Satellite has a problem, and Matrix Engineering was able to provide solution. So it's one of the projects that I really, anytime I think of it, it's a landmark achievement, because the air station was built by Chinese company. So if we can do a correction on what Chinese company have done, I think it's an achievement. Funding. As funding in Nigeria, it's acceptability is a problem, and being a local company, for you to get an acceptance in the industry, it's a problem. But the major problem is funding, because the Nigerian financial institutions are not really very supportive. So the interest rate is very, very high. So it's not no entrepreneur, and the political climate too is not very, it's not stable. So those are the challenges that we face in the industry.
Over the years, indigenous companies in the construction industry in Nigeria have recorded a low level of participation and have often been sidelined in large-scale construction activities. The question now asked is there a level playing ground for indigenous companies to compete with the foreign players in the construction industry?
No, there is no level playing ground at all, and the scenario doesn't really favor the local industries, and most of it is created by government itself. The government policy is not something that really favor the local companies in terms of competing with the foreign partners. So, and the second thing that is a major problem is corruption. So I think most of the people in government find it very convenient to partner with the foreigners to do business, because they feel that they are more protected that way and that we shouldn't be, because you should feel more at home with your brother. But because of corruption, it's some of these foreign companies can easily cover up, do a lot of cover up for them and all that. So I think that's why they find it very difficult to do business with the local company. And but be it as it may, we're trying to survive in the industry. No, it's Nigerians are very intelligent, and in whichever endeavor that we find ourselves, we excel. So this, just look at it. Most of the foreign companies that are operating in Nigeria, they use the local human resource here. It's just the few top managers that are actually foreigners. The real people that does the job are still the locals. So how do you now tell me that it is because of lack of experience? And Nigerians are excelling in the US, in the UK, in the developed world. So we don't lack that human resource or managerial acumen or something like that, or skill to execute. We don't lack it at all. We have top-notch professionals in Nigeria that can execute any job. Lack of supervision, and I want to say that it's a majorly lack of supervision and substandard product. So those are the two issues that I want to say. So I think some of our regulatory agencies that in the industry need to step up their game.
Okay.
So in terms of supervision and all that. So, and the other reason I still boil down to the regulatory agency is substandard material. Yeah, so it's people try to cut corner and end up using substandard material, especially in building and some of the things also project that we've experienced this kind of disasters and all that. So, and the third one is maintenance culture. Yeah, we lack a lot of maintenance culture in this country. So, if, for example, when you build a house, it's there's a maintenance procedure that should be attached to it by the designer. Also, there should be, for example, it's you need to the sewage system. How do you manage it? The structure itself. After some time, you check the integrity of the structure. If it's still okay, if you need to know a reinforcement and all that. So we don't do that. That's one of the areas that governments still need to work on. Procurement Act is not we're not there yet in terms of the practice. So because when you compare to other African countries like Rwanda, that operate a complete e-procurement, so everything is online. So it makes the whole system transparent. So until we get there, so we cannot, they will not be able to eliminate some of these sharp practices that is still being done. So, and it's a major, it's a problem for the local and the small upcoming company like us, because some of the practice you will not be able to, you can't trace, you don't have evidence to actually prove that this is what happened and all that. So I think for us to be seen as to get it right, let me put it that way, and so that we get value for our money. So we avoid all these substandard projects and all that. We need a very strong procurement system. So, and I will recommend that government should look at a complete e-procurement system. One of the major problem that we have in Nigeria is it's world over. If you look at the word human needs now, so before it used to be food is number one before, but now it's energy. In metrics, we believe that one of the ways to solve the problem is to have a proper planning, energy planning for whichever project that we're going into. If you are going to design a road, you should know that there is going to be street lights. So it's not just enough to just put the poles and the bulb. Where is that source of energy is going to come from? Also, and two, we believe in having a smaller grid system using renewable energy to complement the major power generation that we have, also as one of the solutions to our problem. So that's why we try to design our business model, partnering with infrastructure developers to help them plan the energy needs for whatever structure they are going to put in place, so that you don't come and add to the problem. By you build a house, you are solving a building problem, but you are adding to the power problem because you didn't actually make an energy budget for the business. So, for example, we have an ongoing project with an urban shelter. So, Day International Market in Abuja here, and we are going to power the entire market with solar. Wow. That's because we know that it's going to support the SME, the small scale industries and all that also. So, and if we're able to do that successfully, we're planning to replicate that in other sectors, like the estates, schools, and some other hospitals that we know that will touch lives. It's the initial funding of renewable power is a challenge, and that is where we will really want government to look at and have a policy to support some of these initiatives, like the Bank of Industry and some of these development banks should be able to come in to support this kind of initiative. Because the cost, the initial cost is very expensive, but I can tell you, we did an comparative analysis of using diesel to power the day-to-day ultramodern market, and to using renewable energy that we're going to use. And we discovered that within 6 years of the project, we will have realized all the money that we invested in the renewable energy.
Within
6 years.
Wow.
Within 6 years, if we decide to use, for example, if you want an uninterrupted power supply, you cannot rely on the national grid. That means you're going to have a generator, generating power by diesel for the market. We compare that to if we're using renewable energy. The panel has a lifespan of 25 to 30 years. So a panel, you have lifespan of 25 to 30 years. And the only thing that you maintain in renewable energy, especially solar energy, is the battery that you have to replace after between 3 to 5 years, depending on the kind of battery that we're using. So, but aside that, it's like maintenance free. So I really encourage the businesses that are power dependent to consider going into renewable energy alternative. It's more reliable. It's a win-win, because at a point you have control over your energy generation, then you're going to make more profit. Yeah, I'll go back again to the government regulatory agencies that are supposed to maintain standards in the industry. And they need to step up their game, because they should not turn Nigeria into a dumping ground where people just come and experiment their products. So if they step up their game, they'll be able to stop all this, because you don't just take any product to American market and just sell. It passes through their regulatory agency. They need to certify that it is okay for our consumption. And so we're not there yet, and it's not we don't have a policy in that direction. We have policy in that direction. We have regulatory agency that's supposed to do that job, but corruption is a problem. So where people just take bribe and just overlook things and all that and just allow it. So it's killing it's really causing a lot of damage. That's one of the, you can imagine if someone spent that huge amount of money to purchase a renewable energy system, and within few years, we're expecting, like now, as a businessman, you have a budget and plan for, okay, if I invest this amount of money, it's going to serve me for 25 to 30 years. And then you invest, after investing it, within 2-3 years, this thing go bad. It's assuming you take a loan from bank and a long-term payment plan and all that. So that's the kind of damage that this thing causes in the industry. So we are really pleading that the government should look at it. Nigeria is not a dumping ground. We have our standard. The regulatory agencies should help us keep our borders, do their job, check the standard of, we have Standard Organization of Nigeria, we have all other agencies that are supposed to do this job. If they are doing their job, we will not have the problem. Because people used to say that they will name, okay, some from some Asian countries to produce some standard product, but go to their country. They have very good standard infrastructure. So if they are producing some standard things for themselves, they will not be able to achieve that. But it's because we have a porous border, we have a very bad system, a corrupt system. That's why that business can flourish here. They can bring anything into Nigerian market and get away with it. Why they shy away is because of funding. That is, to go back to funding, because of funding. Because when you talk about low cost housing, you are looking at the poor, how you can provide cheap house for a mass, for a lot of people at the same time. So, but these people, their income will not, cannot, they are not people that can write a single check to pay for the house. They are going to pay over a long period of time. So, and you as a developer too, you need to be able to access funds that will allow you to be able to do that. Do you understand now? So if, for example, if a civil servant wants to take a housing loan, a mortgage loan now, you're expecting like to 25 to at least 20 to 25 years, of minimum of 15 years. So which bank in this country gives you that kind of loan? No. We want to return on our investment. We want to make money. So, and what we do is you build a house that for the people that can afford the house. So, and when you now build, sometimes when you take the risk of building this low-cost housing, you discover that even the people that the target people cannot still afford it. It is still the rich men that will afford, that will buy these houses and now lease them out. So the only way that we can overcome this problem is to, for example, we have some funds, like for example the pension, contributory pension fund, that are long-term funds. They should allow the industry developers to have access to this fund, because it's a long-term fund. So if you have access to this, instead of going into bank, the commercial bank, the interest rate is very high, the tenor is very short. You have between 3 to 5 years to repay back and all that. So if we're able to access some of this long-term fund, so we'll be able to focus on low-cost housing system, and that is the only way we can solve this deficit. Nigeria is not that bad. It is not. I believe in Nigeria. I believe in this country so much. So, and I feel that if all of us run away, who is coming to solve the problem for us? We don't have any other country apart from this that we can call ours. Yes. So I advise young Nigerians to believe in this country and to think of being independent. So, and but the trend is changing. Recently, you see a lot. Lately, you see a lot of graduates going into learning skills, additional skills, tailoring, any other thing to complement their certificates. That's the way to go. That's the way to go, because your education is going to impact on that. It's going to differentiate you, stand you out from someone that have that skill alone without going to school. Also, there was a lot of negative advice when I was in the UK before I came back, that what do you want to go back to do in Nigeria? Also, but I feel that if we all run away, who is coming to fix the problem? So, and that's one of the push me, and now I feel that if I don't do well, I am not going to be able to encourage others to come back. So I need to struggle and how to make sure that I succeed, so that I'll be able to. I spoke with some of, we talk all the time, and even yesterday I was talking with my friend in the US and all that. So, and I always try to work hard so that I'll be able to give them a success story that will encourage them to come back, because they have a lot of resources, they have a lot of skills that can move this country next level. And this government, I believe in this government, present administration. They have they've been very sincere to a large extent, and they've recognized the power, the potentials in our diaspora.
Yeah.
So, and they are trying to harness that. So, and that's a very good way to go. Abdul Malik is someone that likes things to be done in an orderly manner. That believes that things should be done in the right way. That believes that there's no free lunch. So you need to work hard for your money, to earn a living and all that. So to earn a living, and I believe that, like our late Dora really put it, that we should be thinking of planting a tree that we definitely know that we're not going to enjoy the shade. So that we should be able to plant a tree. As you are planting this tree now, you know that you're not going to be there to enjoy the shade. So I'm that kind of person that have that kind of mindset. So because when I was there, I just feel that the only thing that can contribute here is maybe I'll send money down, but there are more that I should be able to do to give back. Also, so like I said, I'm a philanthropist, and I don't have much to give yet, but I'm working hard to be able to support people more. So.
We must say a very big thank you, sir, for your contribution to the program. We really appreciate them. So insightful. Thank you so much. Out of your busy schedule, we were able to meet with us. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kingsley.
Thank you, sir.
We're being honored
Thank you, sir.
for this. Thank you very much.